Hello. Oh, I haven't done a mic or anything. The camera's all over the shop. There we go. There's such a mess on the table over there. We didn't check, did we? We'll fix that momentarily. Hello and welcome. We are live on Facebook and YouTube, as ever, of course. We will be going live properly in a moment or several after the news and after a bit of Brian Adams. We'll then return for Family Focus. But if you want to get in touch with us on this section of the show, just let us know your highs and lows from the last week and we will read them out. It's true. We'll be back in. I'll just press a little button and it'll tell me. I could have done the maths. That sounds really cool. 7 minutes.
Ooh.
That's quite long, isn't it?
It is, isn't it?
Shall we?
I'm gonna change that.
Yeah, I'll put something shorter in.
Okay.
7
minutes. It's not
that's
that long.
Of course, lots of songs in it. Well, that'll do. I got a song that's perfect. It sums you up perfectly. This song. So we'll come in after this one. Anyway. 4 minutes.
Okay, that's
4
right.
minutes we'll be
Good
back
stuff.
on air. And we are back. Post-madness. That was Madness, one step beyond. This is Andy B and Jojo on Family Focus, the flagship show for the station. Now, I have to be honest, I had no clue what flagship meant.
No, and we haven't got a
flag. I
flag.
thought it was like the big one. But it actually means the first one. Because if you think about a flagship of a navy, it's always the biggest, fanciest one, you see. Which is why I didn't want to call it the flagship show, because I didn't want to say like we were the best. I mean, we obviously are. This is the best show. I mean, let's be frank. But yes.
No.
Yes. But yeah, flag. We need a flag.
Yeah, we need a flag.
We need a little flag to wave. I could do the royal wave.
All right, I've got sound effects, so we're all right. I can wave them about.
Fab. I'm so happy.
This is the time of the day
when Joe gets to really annoy me with stupid sound effects.
It's high-low game. And what's very exciting is we have lots of highs and lows from our presenters.
Do we? I haven't even looked.
Yeah, absolutely loads. They've been flying in left, right, and centre. So we usually play the game where you do the low first and the high next, don't we? So are we going to do it that way with the lows first and then the highs?
I'm just trying to. Why can't I see what you're seeing? Oh, on the wrong. That's the wrong one. Wrong chat. I was in the office chat.
Helps,
That was like the office chat, not the presenters chat.
There's also, I don't know if you like playing games. I do. I do like playing games. Well, it depends on the game.
Games are good.
Depends on the game.
We like games. Yeah. Games are fun. We need more fun in the world. There's too much serious nonsense.
There's probably a study on it, isn't it, that says games are good for you because ...
Probably.
like 1, 2, 3. But it's good. It's fun. It cheers you up. I'm sure it's good for your mental health, isn't it? It's good for your emotional well-being, and you learn stuff. I mean, I know some games can cause people to get a bit stressed, and there can be some argy-bargy. But this game doesn't bring that. This is a lovely game, the high-low game, where you can talk about what's gone on in the week just gone, Sunday today, the last day of the week, or is it the last day or the first day, depending on the calendar that you have. And you can look back the last 7 days, so you can reminisce, you can think through, you can, figure out where you might have gone wrong and get help, because if you share, a problem shared is a problem halved. So we start with a low point and then we end with the high point, and it's always nice to talk, isn't it, about these things that have been going on in the week.
And we have a few.
we
have a few. Shall we start with the presenters?
Yeah. Are you gonna do lows first?
Well, why don't I do the high and you do the low for a change?
Okay. So I need to start then with the lows.
Yes.
Okay. So in at number 1.
So what we do, we put it out to the present. We have a presenters WhatsApp group.
Yeah.
There are about a dozen of us really, and we just ask them what's the highs and lows of the last week. It's interesting.
It is, absolutely.
It's a good way of us touching base, which we do anyway.
Yeah.
Because we can celebrate the wins with people, and we can mourn the losses, and that happens. But let's work through these first.
Yeah, you get those like what are they called, team building exercises, don't you?
Yes.
And I reckon this is a team building exercise,
Fair
isn't
enough.
it? So we're team building as we speak.
I was just asking a question.
Yes.
Well, technically you were.
I know. Stephen D, his low is the side effects of iron tablets. I don't know if you've had any side effects of any medicine, but any side effects of any medicine are horrible. But iron tablets, that's not nice, is it? So I'm sorry to hear that, Stephen D, and hope they will stop soon. You do, yeah, you know about side effects of medicine, don't you?
I so know about side effects.
But thank you, Stephen D, for getting in touch about that.
Here's the thing about side effects. They give you medicine to solve a problem, then have to give you another tablet to solve the problem that the first problem that's been solved also then creates. And to the point where my grandparents always say, we rattle at night. And I think, what are they on about? And they sort of show you this 20-ton bowl of tablets they have to take. You think, what's all that for?
Ooh.
Well, that's for this. That then corrects the problem that fixes, and on and on and on.
Yeah.
And I do sometimes wonder, is there not a way of perhaps reducing the tablets and helping people better? Because you can't say, right, you need 100 milligrams of this twice a day.
I think...
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody does, maybe I don't. Maybe I need 80 mil. Maybe I need 120 every 6 hours, not every 12, because we're not all the same.
I do wonder at advancements in technology.
Not criticising doctors and consultants and all the rest of it in the professional, but it's complicated.
If you've got a point, though, the advancements of technology, we're sending
I always
people...
have a point. Sometimes it makes sense.
We're sending people to the moon, to Mars. The technology is amazing. And, of course, we watched Star Trek last night, so that makes our brains think that so much more could be possible, which it's not. I know it's only a programme.
Good one. We watched the first Star Trek last night. Very cool.
Yeah.
With Vija.
Very dated.
Vija, we love that one.
1979.
Awesome
Okay.
film.
So,
Although I
Steve,
didn't like the belts.
no, that was weird.
They were
All the
stupid.
colour of the uniform.
They were wrong. It
It
was
was
just
like
weird.
magnolia, like they were blending in.
No, it was just not right.
Anyway, Andy Brown has come in. My low point was definitely the virus, which has been lingering. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Andy. Those viruses, they do stick around. It's like it's irritating, but also not very nice at all. But it just lingers, doesn't it? And I don't think
have to let it linger?
I don't think there's any sort of medicine that you can take for viruses. It's one of those things that you can't, isn't it?
No, I mean there are medications that can help around the problems the virus might cause, but you can't. The thing is, we can't fix a common cold. It's still going to happen.
That's the problem with the COVID, wasn't it? It was a virus, not whatever else it is that you have medicine for. I really shouldn't talk about doctor stuff, should I? Let me stop myself there. Andy B. I know that
Hello,
guy.
that'll
I
be
know that
me.
guy.
I'm the Andy B, the original.
You can share your own low, can't you? Really, rather than me read out what
you want me
wrote.
to read out what I wrote on the presenters
No, I
group
do
in
not
response
want
to you?
I do not want you to write that last
Isn't that
bit.
weird? Which last bit?
But you said you blame me.
Well, it is your fault.
What's my fault?
So my low point was a stiff neck when I woke up this morning. When I try and look to the right, do you know when you wake up with a stiff neck and you think, "Well, I went to bed and I was fine. I didn't do anything. Why have I got a stiff neck?" I reckon it's your fault because you're on my left,
Oh, I see. That's
which is
why
why
I
my
get the
right
blame.
hand side is not good.
Oh, weird. So I'm sorry to hear that, Andy B, with
Thank
your
you.
stiff neck. But you've been using hot doobie things, haven't you?
Hot doobie things, yes, otherwise known as a heat pack.
That's the one.
I did suggest, should I because it's quite a good one.
Yeah.
So I don't know how you find this is a heat pack or a cool pack, but sometimes you have the bag of peas. Okay, that's the classic one, isn't it? You get your frozen bag of peas. You never ever eat them. They just go in and out of the freezer until eventually the plastic degrades, and you stick it on your dodgy ankle when you've swallowed it. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we have a heat pack or a cool pack with a really fantastic Velcro, like a belt thing, so you can put it around wherever you've got to have it, and it holds it on.
Yeah.
So of course this is on my neck. So I did say out to the room, shall I just like strap this around my neck? Oh yeah, use the strap thing. Oh no. I did use the strap around my neck. However, it went under my armpit to pull it against my neck.
You used your brain, didn't you?
Well, my neck actually, but yeah.
Yes. So that's Andy B's low, and Nathan. Oh, Nathan Thomas has said his low point is a mouth ulcer.
That sucks.
That is awful because
really
you
horrible.
need to eat, and there's nothing you can do with
they're
it
so
in your
painful until
mouth,
they
isn't
go.
it? So I'm sorry
They're
to hear
really
that,
horrid.
Nathan. I hope that goes very soon. And yes, and there's one more. Peter, who does the Energize show, is struggling with math.
I can help him with that one. Do you know why? Because they're broken maths. Teachers and mathematicians have broken maths. It used to be really, really simple. 1 + 1 = a window. We all knew that little game and it was great. And then beyond there, it got a bit more complicated. People are listening thinking, what? Just write down 1 + 1 equals
a window.
Yeah. Anyway, and they broke it because we've got units and tens and thousands. And what happened to just adding?
Well, anyway.
And I was told, you need to learn this, Andrew, because when you leave school, you won't always have a calculator. Hello. I have a calculator on my desk. I have one on my computer, one on my laptop computer, one on my phone, and a spare one in the drawer. I always have a calculator.
You don't leave home without one, do you?
I don't.
So
I don't leave home without two normally.
Those are the lows for our presenters. And if you'd like to get in touch with us and share your high lows, then do email hello@pure247radio.org.
I have another low.
Oh, you do? Okay, go on.
I would do yours, and I've got one from Dan Bellamy.
Okay, my low, what have I put? Is the waiting for the results of the theory test. So the lads, our boys, did their theory test this week. And it was that waiting beforehand. I was actually on the Pure Brunch show, and I just found it really, really difficult waiting. So nervous for them. The night before was quite difficult as well, as they were just practicing and getting themselves ready. And then the next day, it was just that waiting and wondering, because I had every faith in them. But some of those tests are a bit, I just think sometimes they're a bit awkward, or it's not because they don't know their stuff.
It's more than that. I failed dismally. They bought this online testing, so it gives you like a mock version of the theory test, and then there's a hazard perception test. So if you're outside the UK, there's this really stupid, pointless, completely ineffective hazard theory test where you've got to say where the hazards are. I say all of that with a reason, and I'll say why I think that. and why I know that to be true. But I did that and failed on the same thing they did.
I was standing behind Nathan as he was doing some of these practices the night before, and I was like, "Oh wow, that's a very boring film, isn't it? It's just going down this road." But then I'm sure I thought, "I know that place. I recognise that sound. I recognise that building," and it was funny. But yeah, they did ever so well. Worked really hard, and so I was very proud of them. But it was quite stressful waiting.
I will reveal why the hazard perception test is such a stupid, pointless,
when are you going to
ineffective
reveal
waste
that?
of time.
Are you going to give that other low first?
In a while, when we've done the high points.
Okay, so look,
I can say something on this because I actually was a professionally trained driver for 20 years who maintained a clean license and was requested by name frequently for the most complicated jobs. So I think I have a right to speak into this professionally.
Well, in fairness, what you're saying is adding to the reason why I was quite stressed about it, because I thought it could go either way, even though I knew they knew all they needed to know and they understood hazards because they've been cycling on the road. So they're very much got an awareness of cars and the road and things like that.
I always said to them, when you're cycling, imagine, right, that everybody you see, every cyclist, every horse, every gate, every door, every car is trying to kill you. If you know they're trying to kill you, cycle accordingly.
Oh, right.
And they do.
They are aware, alert. They are brilliant, and so I had every faith in their abilities, but I was just worried about the test, and which you will tell us more about in a bit.
Now, a low point from Dan Bellamy, who says, "A bad thing adding to my health issues. I've been put on a waiting list for a hernia operation early in the new year."
Oh,
sorry, Dan.
Sorry to hear
That's
that,
got to suck.
Oh, a waiting list. That's awful, isn't it?
Yeah.
I was just talking about waiting, and just that waiting is hard. So we'll definitely pray for that, and perhaps be able to get up the list quicker. That would be really, really good.
I was on a 18-month wait list for my heart.
You got up quicker though, didn't you? You managed to.
Mostly because when the consultant came to say, "Oh, now, how bad is it?" Well, I've got them right now, and they've been going on for about 15 hours. I can't sit down, I can't sleep, and I can't lie down, and it's pounding my chest.
Right.
Oh, right. I've just seen the ECG. Yes, let's move you up to a priority 1, shall we? Because I think we need to do this quicker. So I was seeing. Then it was a 6-month waiting list, and it was 6 weeks in the end.
Yeah.
Mine were exceedingly severe. Heart issues are, not great. But hernia. Sorry, Dan.
Yeah.
So Stephen D had a hernia a while back, last summer.
Last year.
That was the same day that he actually got it, because it was.
His was an emergency one, wasn't it? You don't want that.
He ended up having emergency surgery, which isn't so good.
No.
Schedule ones are a bit better.
Yeah.
When they can plan that. Anyway, right. We're going to move on to high points.
Yeah. So do you want me to go for those, do you?
Well, should we go in reverse order then?
Reverse order.
Well, I can start with Dan and work backwards.
Okay. Yep.
So Dan's high points. Positive mental health meeting with a therapist. That's always good.
Ah, nice one.
I had 18 months of CBT PTSD.
Yeah. Wow.
Cognitive behavioural therapy, post-traumatic stress disorder for childhood trauma, and it was very, very good. It was very, very tiring. It was about 18 months or just under, and I had a really good therapist. She was great. She was a psychologist, worked for the NHS. My GP hooked me up with her. And they were really good sessions, but they're very tiring.
It's interesting you should say that, Dan, because it was Mental Health Day, World Mental Health Day.
Yes, it was.
Yes, it was yesterday. Well, no, Friday when I was doing the Get Your Home
They never
show.
do the weekends. Most national days, you've noticed, they're never at the weekend.
No, last Sunday was Grandparents' Day.
Well, apart from that one.
Apart from that one.
And mental health yesterday. But apart from those, it's never on anything other than a weekday.
It's only because you don't do the Get Your Home show at the weekend. That might be something to do with it.
I don't want to.
Are you doing the high?
I think I do enough.
You're doing the next high backwards.
Yeah, but now we're on to you. I've done Dan, so now it's on to you.
Oh, okay. Oh, yes, I was next, wasn't I?
Yes.
My high was actually covering the shows. I love covering other people's shows, doing different shows. So I covered the breakfast show, I covered the Get Your Home show. That was really nice. So the other I did the late lunch last week, but this week was different. But I actually got to do from 5 till 6 on your show, because normally I just do the last hour, but I did a couple of hours, so I got to do some different things. And so I like that. I enjoyed that.
It was good fun, because we'll talk to you more about Christians in media over the next hour and a half or so, but. It was great Friday, but of course, if we're away, that's 3 daytime shows not being presented.
Yeah.
Now, not so bad because we're able to do daytime shows while we were there, but it does throughout the other times of the day.
Yes.
Good day, though.
But also, obviously, I'm very happy that the boys passed their theory test, so we can get on now to the next stage. So that's brilliant. That's also my high point. You're going to list the next ones then, are you?
Yes.
Going backwards.
Yeah, well, I'll start with Peter then.
Yep.
So Peter's high, being able to enjoy the garden and the great weather.
Yes.
So
I
we
would
worked
agree with that.
really hard getting the grounds down to a level where you can actually walk on the grass without having to wade through with a machete.
Alan Titchmarsh would be proud of us.
I hope so, because we enjoy the garden.
He's
I still remember one of my favourite moments of watching him on TV was he did all the stuff in his garden and he said, "Now don't forget," look to the camera, "don't forget, enjoy the fruits of your work."
And he sat down.
And he sat down
with a drink.
I loved it.
Brilliant.
It looked like it had some ice in it on a hot day.
Oh, lovely job.
Nathan's high point, passing his theory test.
Mm.
I might add that one in for Stephen D as well. My high was Friday with Christians in Media, Christians in Sky at Sky Group HQ. Utterly superb, encouraging, brilliant, and timely.
Yeah, fantastic.
It was epic, honestly brilliant. Andy's high point. It's going back a bit now. His high point was getting a mention on the radio just now, dancing around his kitchen to Blur, which I did at about 3:25.
Oh, if only there was a fly on the wall or a video of that would have been awesome.
And Stephen D says, my high point was passing my theory test and the Christians in Media conference.
Fantastic.
And then Jojo said,
I didn't write anything on there, did I?
why not?
Because I'm here.
Well, that's rubbish. Well, I'm here.
I'm here. I told you.
I think I'm here. Now I'm having an existential crisis. Am I really here?
Oh, no, don't do that.
I'm pretty sure I'm here.
So that's the high-low game. Hello at pure247radio.org or any of the socials and WhatsApp if you would like to play the game with us.
I just realised we're quite quiet on the microphones, aren't we?
Oh, no, are we?
I'm making us less quiet. There we are. That's
So
better.
can I whisper now? It was really interesting because you had to whisper, didn't you, when you were at Christians in
I thought
Media?
that was really rubbish radio. I thought,
No, it was
how is
brilliant.
this coming across? Because Stephen D, we're in the middle of a session.
Yeah.
Because we're in the main room. And I thought, I better say something. I said, well, just do it quietly. Anyway, Dan Rouse, God bless that man, said that was absolutely captivating radio. It was like so exciting. We felt like we were in the room,
Ooh.
which was the whole purpose of why we did what we did the way that we did it.
I agree with Dan. It was brilliant. I loved
Yes.
it. So you're going to tell us more about Christians in Media a bit later on, aren't you? But were you going to finish your rant about theory tests?
It's not a rant. It's a
It's
statement of
okay.
fact.
Okay.
So here we go. I drove. It's a good story. This. I drove professionally for about 20 years. Okay,
Yeah.
I drove big trucks, abnormal loads. We had lorry-mounted cranes. Nice big. They were good fun toys, actually.
Yeah.
And that's what I did for a living. And I was very good at what I did. I don't say I'm good at much. I would say I was very good at trucking, very good with a crane. And I'm also very good at running all age services in churches.
So just put this clear, you passed 3 driving tests. Your car test, your what do you call it? C plus E.
Class 2.
Class 2 and class 1.
And then class 1, that's 3.
And then also extra things with trailers.
And then there was a
stuff
motorbike,
like that.
that's 4.
Yeah.
And then there was the lorry-mounted cranes of ever larger versions. That's
So lots of
5.
experience.
And then there's a forklift truck license.
Yeah.
Just by the way, when I passed my forklift truck, I'd never driven a forklift truck over 20 years nearly of driving trucks. And I was coming towards the end of my career, really, before I went off and did other stuff. And so I did my forklift because the people I work for said, we really need you to get your forklift license. We need you to have that because I was working in a builder's motion. Sometimes we just need, when the drivers are here, we just need you to jump on a forklift truck and load some trucks. Yeah, that's fine. So anyway, I did my forklift truck license. I was the only one for the day. They got in someone and everybody else wasn't there. So it was just me and this guy. So we did the thing. And there's a little theory test, 100%. And then we had to do the actual practical. Anyway, we're partway through, and he's saying, do you know, you're quite good at this. You're quite adept. Most people really struggle with knowing what's around them. They don't look, and they can't work out what the feet are doing and the hands are doing and stuff. Have you ever driven a forklift truck before? No. Well, you seem very relaxed. I said, well, I've driven trucks for 20 years and operated complicated cranes. Oh, that'll be it, he said. Where we have to watch out for people because if we get it wrong, people literally die. So he said, oh, you're quite good then.
So the point of sharing that.
I passed first time flawlessly.
So this is where you come in with a theory test.
This is
isn't
where
it?
I came in. Now, I was driving big trucks, okay? This is going back quite a lot further. But I was driving trucks professionally, so I was very good at what I did. And I went to do my motorbike test because I was driving a scooter. It was fine, but to be honest, I wanted to get rid of the L plate. You can ride a motorbike, well, with a small engine, with a CBT compulsory basic test as it was then. And you could do that for 2 years. And I did it. I thought, I don't want to take the test again just to get an L plate because it's really easy. I'd like to lose the L plate because you know what, I'm actually qualified at what I'm doing. So I did my motorbike test and I passed the theory test. That was fine. As I was in the room doing the theory test, they said, excuse me, would anybody like to do a pilot mock test. It's got nothing to do with what you've done. It's not going to affect you in any way. It'll happen after the test, but it's called a hazard perception test. It's going to be video clips. You click the button on the mouse when you see a hazard, and if you can see all the houses, then you're going to pass. Now, it's got nothing to do with it. It's just for us to understand, is this any good? So I said, hey, I like doing tests of this sort. I'll sit down. So I did it. And I failed. I think I got something like 9 out of 100 or something.
Wow.
Which I was a bit annoyed about. Anyway, they said, well, we can review it with you and show you where you've missed all the hazards. So I went and said, right, well, show me all the hazards. The thing is, on the test, what you do, when you see a hazard, as soon as you see the hazard, you click the mouse button. And it logs the fact that you've seen the hazard. Right. But you just clicked all the way through the video. Right. No, I didn't. Well, you did look. And they showed me the video with all the little flags on it. Well, I said, why don't we go through and see all these hazards that I apparently didn't see? And I went through and said every single hazard that I saw, which matched perfectly with the flags on the thing which I had inserted by clicking the button.
No.
And the guy said, well, you failed because you didn't spot the hazards. So I told him all the hazards that I saw.
Yeah.
He went white as a sheet. And he said, why would you say that was a hazard? It was like, I don't know, and it was someone getting into the car. That's not a hazard. Yes, it is. I said, what if they drive off? Yes, but it's not in front of you, therefore it's not impeding your progress, therefore it's not a hazard. Yes, I said, but if they're getting in, there's a car, there's every chance they might drive off. But why is that a hazard? As a trucker, driving a 44-ton truck that's 12 foot wide, you know, with an abnormal load, that's a hazard.
Yeah.
Oh, we hadn't thought of it like that.
Oh dear.
So yes, that's why I utterly failed. So when the boys had finally finished their hazard theory test, with this knowledge in the back of my mind, I thought, I'm going to sit this test because they pay for it for like 20 days.
This is some years later, isn't it?
Many years later. So I sit the test, okay? And it's identical in the sense that you watch 15 clips that are about a minute long or something, and you click the mouse button. In any one video, there is one hazard, and in one of those 15 videos there are 2 hazards.
Right.
So I watched the videos, I spotted the hazards, and I clicked the buttons. I failed dismally. Went through a review, and it replays. And here's the thing: I failed the online test for the hazard perception test that everybody goes through because I was too good at spotting the hazards. What do I mean? The flag appears at the start of the hazard. But they, whoever set it up, said, no, that's not a hazard. It comes 1 second later. Here's a clip. This is me having a rant now. So there's one with some deer, and you can clearly see the deer in the sort of foreground. As soon as I saw the deer at the side of the road that you're driving down, I click the button. No, it's not a hazard. You've got to wait longer. So 4 seconds later, it decided now it's a hazard because you've got even closer to the danger. And I failed because I said there was a hazard too soon. On all 15 videos.
Yeah, I mean, I when I had a practice run and I failed the first time, but once I realised what they were expecting, I passed it because I played the game, if you like. I
don't play games. I just drive to a high standard.
So I just but I think what it is they don't want people just clicking the buttons randomly and then passing it. I think, but I think that's why it's set like that, and that's why it's discounting. If you've got deer about to cross the road in front of you, that's a hazard, but apparently not. Because somebody in office said, it's not a hazard yet. You have
every time there was a hazard, I was 2 seconds, 3 seconds
You have to learn how to play that game in order to pass it. But it's like that with many tests, though. Any sort of test, you've got to learn how to pass the test as well as the learning of whatever the material is. But yes, we got through that.
But I failed the hazard perception test because it's stupid.
Oh, dear.
Genuinely. Because every time I spotted a hazard, I was too quick.
Well, I mean, whatever you may think,
spotting a hazard.
Whatever you may think.
The alternative is you're too slow.
Whatever driving test you need to take, you have to do a theory test now in the United Kingdom and possibly in other places.
Nonsense.
So whether you like it or not, you have to. If you wanted to take another driving test, I don't know what you could, because you've pretty much got everything.
Nothing left I can take.
Well, there's the bus, isn't there? So, for example, if you went for the bus,
I don't drive bus.
Yeah, but if you did, you'd have to do a theory test in order to get that. Yeah,
I don't want to drive a bus.
Nobody wants to drive a bus, and I'm sure lots of people do. So we should get on with some news
Real
items.
Truckers don't drive buses.
Real truckers.
Most bus drivers become truckers to get away from the people.
Oh,
I've worked with many bus drivers and truckers over the world, and all the truckers that I knew who drove buses all became truck drivers because, quote, we got sick of the passengers.
Well,
and in a truck, there's no passengers.
But not so much buses. I know that you can get coach drivers as well, and they have quite a good time because Yeah, what I'm saying is coach drivers might enjoy it more because they go abroad, don't they? They go off and, and they get
They
to sort of,
can.
exactly, they get the experiences of going abroad. We've had drivers that when we were at school, we'd have a coach driver and he'd come with us all the way to France or to Spain or Italy and stuff
Andy
like
B.
that.
Rand on the pointless stupidity of the ridiculous hazard perception test. I would
Yes.
like to take the people who set that and show them the real hazard on the road.
I think they did actually very
Just
well
saying.
in the final theory test, didn't they? They got the
did really well.
percentage they needed to do. But they had to learn how to do it in order to pass. They knew their information, which is kind of frustrating, isn't it? Because they knew the traffic signs, they understood the alerts, they've learned. But
Stupid
that
test.
computer game, you have to do it the way it wants you to. So it's yeah, it's a bit
Computer game sums it up
unfair.
better.
Yeah, doesn't it really?
Utter nonsense.
So I've got some news items that we can look at
Oh,
whilst
shut up
we're
then.
here. There's nothing on the theory test, thank goodness. And I'm not going to mention anything about driving because we'll stay away from that.
I'm a very, very excellently high qualified driver with lots of qualifications. It's a stupid test. A test that is that arbitrary that completely misses someone seeing a hazard test is stupid.
We have these new studies. I'd like to see a new study on how many people are being prevented from actually being able to drive because of the theory test.
Because the other thing is, that particular test means you need to have good hand-eye coordination with the mouse. Now,
Yeah, I was
I'm
thinking
pretty
that.
certain when I've driven trucks, forklift trucks, cars, motorbikes of all shapes and sizes, I never ever had to stare at a screen with a mouse.
Yeah, I must admit, I find that because I'm not very good with the mouse. I'm not very precise, and maybe because the boys are on the computer and do use the mouse a lot more. But that just seems a bit unfair because that's got nothing to do with driving, is it? And
No.
I agree with that.
Can you use a computer?
Do you remember
Yes.
our theory?
Does that help you drive? Not in a million years.
Do you remember our theory test before they made it sort of so formal?
It was much better.
I remember it. I would sit. We were on our practical exam, and we'd sit there, and they would just show us a sign like on their notepad. What's that? What would you do if this happened? There was literally about 3 or 4 questions, and that was it. That was your theory test. It was brilliant. And so off you went again. The good old days, eh?
Sometimes we improve things and they get broken, and I absolutely believe it. So I remember my car driving test, that was okay. Did that all right. My class 2, so rigid vehicles,
Yeah.
up to about 18 ton, something like that. That was horrible because we had properly torrential rain. There are heated mirrors on trucks, have been for a long time. Cars, it's more recent. But anyway, you put the heated mirrors on, there is a limit to what they can do. And I couldn't see anything. But what I remembered was my instructor telling me, if you hit a curb, it's an instant fail.
Yeah.
Unless you have no choice because you're going around a tight bend or something.
Yeah,
There
yeah.
are some
Yeah.
reasons for that. But you can't just hit a curb, it's an instant fail. But if you're too far from the curb, then you can get a minor. 3 minors is
yeah.
a fail. So I was thinking, well, I'd rather steer away from it
Yeah.
than towards it. At one point, the examiner was shouting at me about it, and he said, "Why are you so far? Can't you see the curb?" "No, and you won't let me stop the vehicle." "Oh." So we stopped the vehicle, he cleaned the mirrors, and we carried on. When I did my class 1, which is big proper trucks, my instructor was having a little heart attack and thinking, he's broken a truck, it's broken down. They must have had a crash. We're out for like an hour and a half or something.
Yeah.
Because my examiner, apparently, it turns out, was having such a lovely day, was so relaxed in the truck as my passenger, he almost forgot to actually do the driving test. I got 3 minors, which was
quite nice.
which was better than my instructor.
Oh,
He was
brilliant.
very annoyed. He said,
What-
"You can now be an instructor of trucks if you want to."
So I think coming back to the theory test,
I have thoughts on
I know
these
you
things.
not so much the theory test because the theory test is fine.
Theory test is good. I
the
like that.
multiple choice and everything. But what you have a problem with is the hazard perception. How can you fairly test someone on their hazard perception without, because it's obviously online, it's a computer program.
Really easily.
Yeah. So what are you suggesting that should happen then?
The original test.
What's the original test?
You go out with somebody and they test you. And if you don't spot hazards, you fail.
So so you wouldn't click a button, you'd say yes,
No,
that.
stupid.
So you'd verbally say yes. So you wouldn't be driving then, you'd be in the
No,
passenger
you
seat.
drive.
You'd be driving and then just
Yeah.
verbally speak out, that's
Well,
a
no,
hazard, that's a hazard.
You have to spot hazards as you're driving. So when I was doing any of my 4 tests in the
Yeah.
end, so car, motorbike, 2 truck tests, you have to react to hazards. So at one point I had to turn left with an articulated vehicle and I had to go across the curb.
Oh, I see.
No choice
So
whatsoever about it. And I
so-
said, I'm going to mount the curb with the rear of the trailer because if I don't, I can't turn left. Fair enough, said the examiner.
Yeah.
On you go. So you have to be able to see ahead of time and spot what's going on.
Yeah, that will come up in that's the practical driving. But how do you test someone's perception not in the driving class? Because this is prior to being able to.
I know, but I don't think you should. It's stupid. Get them in a car.
Then, but what if you don't have enough hazards? What if your driving test?
Consider yourself fortunate.
then you haven't really shown that you can deal with hazards.
Here's what I see. Okay, we are talking about driving now. Here's what I see. The M1. Most people have heard of the M1 motorway. It was the first motorway.
Was it?
You might argue against that. Hence M1 motorway one. I drive up and down that thing quite a lot to London. Yeah. It's 4 lanes apart, sometimes 5 lanes. Here's the thing. There's this thing called overtaking and undertaking, which is all this hot topic. You can't make progress by going in the UK, because you drive on the correct side of the road on the left. You can't undertake somebody to get in front of them to make progress. That's undertaking. It's dangerous and it's an offence. But you can pass a vehicle on your right if they're going slower than you. So, for example, if you're stuck in traffic, of course, all 4 lanes are all going to go a bit quicker than each other at other times. Here's the thing about the M1. I frequently undertake vehicles, but not undertaking them, because I'm in lane 1 and they're in lane 4. Doing 54, 55 miles an hour.
Crazy, isn't
I'm in lane 1. There is nothing on the motorway, usually late at night, and I just keep going. It's not an offence. Do you know why? Because you couldn't say to a trucker, can't undertake, can't do that, because they can't overtake everything, because it's not allowed in lane 3. So here's the thing. We have not improved driving. In fact, it has a perception test, theory test has taken so much of our ability to be assessed as good or bad drivers away from people who can actually assess it into a classroom context where it cannot be assessed. You learn to pass the test. I refused to do that, but you learn to.
Well,
pass
I already
the test.
know how to have
I know
hazards, so I
you're
don't need
one
to.
of the few people who actually feel safe in a car with. But here's the thing: I've seen driving standards plummet so terribly. Taxi drivers. I mean, for me, if you've got a license to drive a vehicle, you would need to drive to a higher standard. So if you're getting pulled by the police, which is fairly frequently for truckers, or VDSA, which is like, we call them wheel tappers. Okay, they have a hammer and they check your wheel nuts and make sure that you're not dangerous. Anyway, so they're always pulling trucks over. And if a trucker is responsible, they get held to account to a higher standard. So the fines are greater, the number of points are greater, as it should be. Taxi drivers are professionally certified drivers. They have to have a qualification to allow them to have a taxi. They're always in lane 3 or a 4-lane motorway with nobody on the motorway. And I'm thinking, well, I can either go from lane 1, whip out to lane 4, get past them straight back to lane 1 because you're supposed to go back to the left. There is no overtaking lane. Did you know that? There is always 1 lane. But then you've got to go, and it's dangerous.
So you're blaming all this on the hazard perception part of the theory test?
Yes, because what I've seen is we've moved away from an instructor testing you for your knowledge of signs or your ability to spot a hazard. We've removed that. And now they're just testing for certain abilities on the road. And what's happened? Well, we've taught people how to pass a theory test. We've taught people how to pass a hazard perception test. What we haven't done is teach people how to
put
spot
it into
reality.
Hazard.
So, and we see it in the schools all the time as well. Which is just annoying. I have a lot to say on driving because I was really good at what I did. And I wouldn't drink overnight time if I was driving the following morning because I wanted to make sure that I was completely teetotal. And I was really serious about doing it to the highest standard I could. But what I've seen and observed is a massive, massive drop in standards with the increase of things like hazard perception because it's easy to teach hazard to somebody. It's really straightforward. Sometimes in the car, the boys say, how did you know that driver was going to do that? Because I've reacted before they've even moved. I said, well, you can spot it. They're nervous. But how can you see nerves? Usually a little wobble in the car. Why are they wobbling? Because they're thinking, do I go left? Do I go right? So I usually back off. So when they think, oh, I'll just go from lane 4 to the slip road on the left, cross 4 lanes of the motorway. How did you know? I knew they were an idiot because I could see how they were driving.
Yeah, I suppose it's going back to your own perception and your own gut, really, isn't it? In terms of knowing your abilities and the abilities around you, being aware and everything. And I suppose the old style, it can be better than some of the new style, is what you're saying, isn't it?
I run a digital magazine. I run a global Christian digital radio station. We've got a global news hub now as well. All of it involves technology. I love technology in a huge way. Anybody who says I don't, you're just cloud cuckoo land, okay?
Yeah.
But we have lost much of the good as we have improved things and made them better. making a hazard perception test on a computer, like a computer game, is not an improvement on anything because it's removed experts from teaching people how to drive and spot hazards into a computer game, which can't win.
Well, it is the way of the world, isn't it? AI has taken over quite a lot of things that we would normally have done ourselves.
Yeah.
And a lot of the cars that are made today. So when I first had a car, I did everything myself. I put the wipers on myself.
Let me aid you. Does anybody know how to use a manual choke on a car?
Exactly. I used to even have to do the choke. Yeah. So there's so much in the car. I actually quite like the basic car, the real one that you do all the work to. Even changing gears, because you get those ones that are, what they're called, non-manual, what they're called? Automatic.
Like an automatic.
I do like an automatic.
You like every automatic car.
You're not really driving it. And then you've got like...
yeah, you are.
So the wipers doing the thing. It's even cars that put the lights on, and also it puts you in the right lane and all kinds of things like that. So I suppose it's the way of the world. It's almost like all these things, this control over the car is being taken from us. And I suppose that hazard perception is just part of that development, I suppose.
Well, maybe, but I remember we drove a hire car one time. I'm not going to mention the brand, and it had lane departure avoidance thing.
Yeah, I don't like those
So
things.
I was in the middle lane, having overtaken a vehicle, and of course, as you are supposed to do, you move back to the left because there's only one driving lane on the motorway. Did you know that? There aren't 5, there's 1.
Yeah.
There are multiple overtaking lanes, then you go back again. I always say it's like having a piece of elastic. It forces you into the left-hand lane. That's the only lane you're supposed to drive on unless you're overtaking. But the thing is, people don't drive correctly, and I think things like the lane assisting, which is also, I think, should be made a criminal offence for cars to have that. It should be banned. And I'll tell you why it's dangerous. I was in a hire car. I went to move to the lane, and the car would not let me steer to the left. It literally prevented me. I was fighting the car. Why? Because I didn't use the indicator. Why didn't I use the indicator? Because you're not supposed to.
Yeah, but you can turn that off, can't you? That function. Oh, some cars you can switch those functions off, can't you?
This one we couldn't.
Oh, dear.
I had to basically drive stupidly and indicate to the left every time. In the United Kingdom, when you're overtaking a vehicle, you do not indicate left when you're finished.
Oh, well, I do.
Return to the lane that you were in.
Sorry, I do.
Shouldn't.
Well, I know, but I do. I don't know why I've got into that habit. I mean, I guess I must have been taught it at some point.
You shouldn't. When you overtake a vehicle, you have to move back to the lane that you're in. It's only an overtake.
Well, I think it's a courtesy to tell someone that I'm coming into their lane in case they don't drive like that.
But they should know you're coming into the lane because you have to.
Yeah, but I don't think everyone drives like that.
No, not on the M1 they don't. Honestly, Leicester to Nottingham on the M1 is utterly moronic.
Oh. So, I mean, obviously, if you've not driven those, you probably have your own motorway or what's the American word for motorway? I can't remember now.
Oh, it's highways.
Highways, and then in Autobahn, in is it Autobahn? Yeah, in Germany.
Autobahn in Germany.
So, all different things though in different countries.
You got me on driving. It's not my fault.
But yeah, interesting, really interesting stuff. I'm not sure I've really got anything interesting in the news wise, apart from this world's highest cafe opens on China's new Grand Canyon Bridge. I don't like heights.
Yeah, silly.
Don't
Every
like
plane's
heights.
got a higher one.
Yeah.
Unless it's above 40,000 feet.
It's got one of those things, you know, where you're really up high and it's glass and you can see down.
Is it more than 40,000 feet in the air? No. So therefore, it's not the world's highest cafe.
What do you mean? It's 2,624 feet.
Yeah, it's nothing.
800 meters.
Nah, silly. No, the world's highest cafe is the International Space Station.
Well, no, this is a cafe, I suppose, isn't it?
I know. Well, International Space Station, they've got cafe. They've got coffee.
Oh, they got bungee jumping as well. I can't be doing with that.
World's highest cafe. Absolute nonsense. No, it's
so
not.
I won't bother reading that then.
No, that's stupid.
That one's no.
Bear Grylls went up Mount Everest and they had a drink in a tent on top of Mount Everest. That's higher.
Yeah, I think it's more about building structures.
I'm in an annoyed mood now.
I know.
A
new study.
It's your fault. We've got some more highs and lows from our presenters.
Oh, excellent. Exciting. Go on then.
Shut me up.
Yes.
Dan Rouse, low points, struggling with a bit of health issues this week.
Oh.
Sorry, Dan, about that. See another one. Gareth, who was on just before us.
Yes,
Coffee Table Theology.
Brilliant.
It's awesome.
We're learning about, I was listening to it actually, it was the one God, but also the Trinity, and looking and unpicking and trying to figure that out when you've got one God but in three. It was brilliant. Really good conversation.
Yes, and the fact that the Trinity is not actually a biblical thing, which is fascinating because it's not in the Bible, but that's the whole point for the conversation.
It was really good, really, really good.
It was excellent.
It really made me think.
So he's been unwell, Gareth, for the last few days. I'm really sorry, Gareth.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
There's cold and viruses. It's a change in the air.
Is it?
Yeah, all of a sudden we don't get so much fresh air.
Really?
That's a big part of it. Yeah, yeah.
Or being indoors more? Well, no,
Yeah.
because the sun's been shining. We've been outside a lot, haven't
We were
we?
getting burned earlier.
Yes.
No, but it's an automatic thing, isn't it? It goes
Yeah.
colder, it's a bit more damp, you shut
It's
the windows,
darker, yeah.
less fresh air, and
Yeah.
fresh air is good for you.
Mm.
So is vitamin D.
Vitamin D.
It's true. Vitamin D is
When
good
you've
for
got
you.
viruses and things like that, you need vitamin C, don't you?
Yeah.
Well, not that. Oh, I said I wasn't going to do doctory things.
And
Was
yet
that-
here we are.
They're doing it again.
And yet here we are.
Honestly, I really can't find a news item. I know we haven't got much longer. Maybe this one. New study finds kids not
Do you
finding.
not want the highs yet?
Oh, I thought you'd finished. Sorry.
Well, no.
Carry on.
We haven't got the
As you
highs.
were.
They've written them down and everything.
Oh.
Dan Rice's high point. Just out of another rehearsal for Jesus Christ Superstar that goes live in a fortnight.
Ooh.
That'll be up in there, that Scotland land.
That's nerve wracking when you're preparing.
I know.
I've been on a.
I am an
I've done-
emotional wreck
Oh.
for the power in this show. Praying for great things through the show this week. Through the show
Aw.
week.
I've done Amdram before. Amateur dramatics, not something as grand as what Dan's doing,
No.
but I get you get those nerves, those audience nerves. But so I hope that goes really well. But very exciting, very exciting.
And then Gareth Higgs, hi. Not hello, hi, like hi, H-I-G-H.
Hi.
Excited about some developments we are involved in excited about some developments we're involved in at the church we attend.
Ooh, developments.
See, now I want to
I
know more.
like that.
I want to know more now.
That's a good word for one word in 1 week that
Your
you do
week
for
in
the
one
week.
word.
Yeah, the weekend wind down.
Yeah.
Because development's more than 9 letters, isn't it? So you get a ding
is.
for that. I might use that because there's always developments at Pure247 Radio. I might nick that word.
You can nick that word if you want to.
Is that everything?
That's everything that's come in.
Fantastic.
I'm just having a quick
Thank
scan.
you, Gareth. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, everyone, for
having
getting
a
involved
scan.
with the high-low game.
Not on there. Not on there. That's all good.
All good. So
It's
lots
all
of
good, I
highs and
hope.
lows, but of course you can still carry on with this high-low even when we come off YouTube and Facebook. Hello at pure247radio.org, WhatsApp or any of the socials. Share your highs and lows. It's fun. It's a game, and it beats the hazard perception game.
The
By
hazard
far.
perception test is stupid.
I'm sure someone's developed a fun one, where they do one and then they'll like, do silly things like a clown comes out or, because there is a game that I've seen. Is it where you follow this Lego person and he goes all over the place and you can have, it's like that, wouldn't it? But someone must have developed a hazard perception test, but with fun, silly things popping
There's
out.
got to be better
There's
than
gotta
that
be one.
nonsense. What was I going to say to you?
I don't know.
It
I
just
was
inspired a thought.
Oh, one of them like when you do the brainstorm and one idea pops from another one. We talked development and 1 week in 1 word. We talked about you come up with a piece of music that you want to play.
No.
No. Okay. High low. Anywhere the wind blows. No. Are you ready for a news item then?
Yes.
So a new
I
study.
did have a thought and it went.
Oh, it'll come back. If it was important, it'll come back. New study finds kids not financially independent until 27. Sorry, children.
Shocker.
Children, which is anyone
Kids
under
are
18.
baby goats.
I know. A new study shows most parents don't expect their children to be financially independent until age 27. I think it took me longer. I don't know why they say that like it's a new thing, because when I was
not,
younger, I was like getting help from my mum because I wasn't. I don't think much has changed under the sun, has it?
No.
So rising housing costs. I'm sure that was a problem when I was growing up. Student debt, I had that.
I think
Yep.
our first house to rent in 1996 was something like £250 a month.
Yeah, but
or
we
less, actually.
were fortunate because it was.
Well, it was a very good house, but
yeah.
it wasn't
It was
that
lower
expensive
than
to
the
rent.
normal rate. Yeah.
But I remember a conversation with someone about, because you can either buy a house or you can rent a house from a private landlord, or in the UK you can rent a house. It's called social housing, which effectively is what used to be called council houses. They kind of still are, but a different name. But the thing is, this is all, you should get yourself on a council house list. Right, okay. So what's the waiting time? Oh, it's about 5 to 7 years. Great, but
That was back then. Wow.
no, this is about 6 years ago.
Ah.
Yeah, but we need a house now. Yeah, but you need to get yourself on the list. Right, okay, but how much does it cost? Oh, it's much cheaper than private rent. Right. So this house that we're in right now, I think it was like £1,000 a month, which was a tiny house in Southampton. And they said, oh yeah, it's much cheaper. Right. So how much would this house cost? Oh, about £1,200 a month.
That's not cheaper then,
Right,
is it?
and that's more expensive than we're paying by private rent.
Yeah.
Oh yes, but it's better. Okay, so it takes 7 years before you're allowed to get a house, and
Oh,
it's more
dear.
expensive than private renting. Remind me how this is better in any sense of the word.
No, it wasn't, was it?
Once you're there, it's more secure. No one's going to argue with that. But
This this new study, I'm not buying it because it says rising housing costs. There was rising housing costs when we were the 25, 30 years when we were starting out. Student debt. I arrived in our marriage with student debt, didn't I?
Thanks
for having to pay that. Yeah, you're welcome. And stagnant wages. Wages were low back then.
My first trucking job where I got a proper salary, £20,500.
And it
that
was
in
low
1997,
then.
my first real job.
It was low
my
then.
last job I left in 2016, so that's basically 20 years later. My salary was £20,500.
Yeah, but you're not helping my point. My point is it was low back then. So delaying independence with nearly half of parents.
Nearly 20 years, I was in a highly skilled job.
So you're agreeing with this new study? Oh,
well, no. The point is, I mean, it's exactly the same salary. That's what shook me. I was on 20,500 when I started in '97, and then 2016-17 when I finished, I was on 20,500.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say the same. My wages had gone up.
That's
within...
not adjusted to inflation. That's the actual figure I went.
Yeah,
20 years, it's the same salary.
But I
That's
can
nonsense.
say, but perhaps with your field of work, but with my field of work, it had gone up. Not as much as it perhaps should have done. But I could say when I was growing up, I had student debt and all the rest of it, and I wouldn't say I was independent from my parents.
1997, 98, I did some work and I was on £15 an hour flat rate driving a class 1, so 44-ton truck.
Yeah,
I couldn't find a job on 15 quid an hour in 2015.
No, I mean,
ever.
I mean, the thing is, I'm not
that
sure.
Wasn't that higher rate?
I'm not sure anyone is dependent from their parents because we always come to them to babysit. We always come to them. They help out with holidays. They help out with purchases. When you're married,
interesting thought.
Yeah.
Why do we want to be independent?
Well, no, I mean, I suppose they want to be financially independent, so we don't have to be dependent on our parents anymore.
I get that.
Especially if the parents don't have much money.
Well.
So I think that's the point they're trying to make. So some even believe their children could still need help into their 30s or 40s, making financial freedom feel more like a moving target than a milestone. And it makes you think, doesn't it? But I don't think much has changed really. Although I know, well, I mean, some of the costs are pretty extensive. But I still think we had the same problems when we were growing up. So I'm not sure much has changed.
Buy a house, we needed a deposit. We didn't have one. We had to borrow money from family. They paid the deposit. We got the money straight back.
Yeah, so I was...
Nothing's changed.
How old was I? I would have been 27, 28 when I had to get help from my mum.
Well, this is the thing about the housing, though, is when we rented a house in down sort of Southampton way, we were looking for the cheapest housing we could find. The cheapest houses we could find, like a 2-bed flat, was £1,000 a month.
Yeah,
that's an insane amount of money.
Yeah, so I think we all need to help each other out, really, don't we? Because it's not easy, is it?
Don't strive for independence. Strive for being able to make your own decisions. It's good, but we should be dependent upon one another. God has made us to be dependent upon each other. That's how we function well.
Yeah, I don't know.
This is my issue with independence. I understand what they're trying to say, but what they think it means isn't good.
Well, no, but what I think they're trying to make the point that the cost of living is really, really bad. Yeah. So bad that people can't make it on their own without their parents. But I would say that I don't think that's much has changed. When I was growing up, I had the same problems. And so I don't think it's that bad. I mean, it's bad, but it's nothing's changed.
I think I wouldn't say that. What I would say was it's not new. No. It's still the problem. Yeah. It's just become a bigger problem. Whereas for you and I, we couldn't cope at all. Now they really can't cope at all. Yeah. Well, it's no different. I suppose it can't cope on their own.
Depends on what field of work you go into, doesn't it? Because some jobs are paid very, very well. If you're in the field of IT and you've got qualifications there, I think the payments around that sort of thing is very well paid. Whereas if you choose to be a nurse or lorry driving, but it depends on the country, doesn't it? Some countries pay well.
I remember having some very long conversations with somebody who was training to be a doctor. And they were like a senior doctor. And our conversations were, the risks that you take, maybe somebody might die. Maybe somebody might die. Yeah. If I make a mistake as a trucker, many dozens of people could easily die. Yeah. And tell me how that my job is not that, it less money. Yeah, there's some... I struggle with that.
Yeah, there's some problems there, isn't there, in terms of what pay is. But it makes you think, doesn't it? I suppose what I like about these news items that we have, it gets us thinking, it gets us having conversations, which is what you need on the radio.
Round up. Tune into an Andy B rant every weekday from 3 o'clock.
Oh, brilliant.
Actually, it's 4 o'clock now.
Yeah, so I think it's time to move on, isn't it? So we've talked lots of things of driving, haven't we? Let's not go back there.
In my defence, you took me onto the driving topic.
No, it was a high. It was a high for the high-low game, the theory test.
Yes, which got me onto that. It's your fault.
Okay, fair enough.
Everybody out there in listener land is agreeing with me.
Listener land. I like it.
That's like a theme park.
Yeah,
Comes to
listener land.
Well,
Headphones.
you got Dollywood.
Oh, yeah.
Dolly Parton's
Yeah,
thing.
that's
I mean,
sweet.
Listener land.
Listener land. I like that.
Enter Listener land every Sunday with Family Focus with Andy B and Jojo from 5 o'clock. Only from Pure 247.
We're going to move on to some music. We've got a bit of music left before the news, have we?
We've got some music before the news. We have got coming your way. Shed 7. I thought would be quite good. So anyway, thank you for joining us. Don't go away. We're not going anywhere. We're just not going to be on Facebook and YouTube, but we'll still be on the radio.
Yes.
So keep listening on the radio, and we'll still be here. Thank you. Shed 7 on your way. And thank you to you on Facebook and YouTube. Ta-ra a bit from me.
And bye from me.
But we're not going anyway, actually, because we're just not on Facebook and YouTube.
Yeah.
Tune back into the radio if you're not already.